Hello, and welcome back to Pathologic Classic HD. Let's continue. So, we've recently defeated a thug and seen a stage play. However, there are some other things that we can do. The second day has begun, and there are a few people that we can see. I think that before we go to speak to Alexander, you might want to have a chat with Lara Ravel, the woman who owns the house known as the Shelter. I wonder what she'll have to say. I always do find approaching the thugs and the drunkards a little bit disconcerting at night. Much as in reality. Oh. Oh no. As you can see here, a thug has just killed an innocent lady. Ah, this was perhaps a bad idea. I think I'm going to die in this fight. As you can see, engaging with thugs is rarely a good idea. Not unless you have the superior advantage. Darn. Well, this is the death screen. So as you can see in this particular case, unfortunately my play is now over. Rather literally. Let's carry on where we left off, shall we? This picture here is of Clara, the Devotress, as she was named in the original game, or the Changeling, as she's named in the remake, and the retranslation. She's perhaps the most interesting of the three healers, especially with her possible magical abilities. I'm not very good at saving people. Not yet. I've also used up my only 2 bullets. This was perhaps a poor decision on my behalf. You might think me a bit callous for letting innocent people die, but as you've seen, stepping in, it's a rather difficult thing to do. These people here are a little bit disconcerting in their complete lack of movement, but they are nevertheless supposed to be afraid civilians. Right now, all I want to do is sleep, sleep, sleep. Whatever happens tomorrow, do come by. I'll show you my house. Sweet dreams, Lara. Perhaps I have come here a little bit prematurely. After all, it isn't morning yet. To the Sabarovs we go. I might ignore those bins for bin raking for the moment. However, as you might note, I have now expended all my ammunition. I've gained a lot of gold. 2 thugs dead. And up over 1,000 gold. However, one might argue that it's not always worth it. As you can see, there's a 3rd thug here, but given that I don't have any means of actually doing much damage to him, can try and also punch him from behind. However, if I'd taken him on myself, one-on-one, I probably wouldn't have done so well. Again, as in life, people are squishy. And generally speaking, if somebody is coming at you with a knife, it's not really advised to take them on, even if you want to feel like a hero. Heroism is rarely rewarded that much in reality. So instead we must find different ways to do what we must do. It's now 1 in the morning. I'll go and see what Alexander has to tell me. He might not have to tell me all that much yet. He might actually have to wait until morning. But then again, we have a lot to discuss, Bachelor, but I'm not ready to talk right now. I still have a lot to think over. Come back at dawn. As you wish. I will just stay here until dawn then. Dawn in this game is, I believe, at 6 AM, so we'll sleep until then. However, our hunger has increased rather substantially. Let's eat an egg. I don't know. Fish. I'll do it. Really shitty meal right there. Then again, it's not too far from something that would actually make... Oh, what? It's still not dawn yet, apparently. Perhaps I was wrong in my estimations of when dawn was. 1 more hour should probably do the trick. The morning of the second day has come. Infected, 24. Died, 17. Missing, 5. Total death toll, 34. Currently infected, 20. It all ends in less than 11 days. Day 2, in which the Bachelor gets to restructure authority as an equal and accept emergency powers. Day 2 begins.
Without the mistresses, the ruler's struggle for power will turn into a military confrontation. But Katerina? No, wrong.
So, yesterday you told the Canes that we may possibly have to face an epidemic. I believe you, Bachelor. In all honesty, I am one of the few people that do. The rest are astonishingly blind. Excellent. The most important thing is that I've managed to persuade you. You still have a few precious hours to stop the disease from spreading, just like Isidore Burach did a few years ago. You need to declare a state of emergency, but I can't do anything. My hands are tied. You are the mayor, you are the authority. What is barring you from declaring a state of emergency and being proactive? The authority belongs to the triumvirate that is presided over by the patron, the head ruler, but now that Simon is dead, his place is vacant. Georgi and Vlad are too afraid that the old balance might shift, but these tragic events are reconfiguring the local power landscape. And if I declare a state of emergency at my own discretion, there will be a feud. Civil strife. I need them to acknowledge me, at least. To take further action, I need Olgimski's money and Kane's standing. I need Big Vlad's cunning and Georgi's energy. I also need their servants to follow my orders. Why won't they make concessions to you? It's glaringly obvious that every minute counts, else the town will die. What are they going to rule then? It's their damned infantilism. One of them is a greedy child, and the other is a whimsical one. They think that if they admit that there is an outbreak in the town, it will actually happen, but so long as they refuse to believe it, it will not exist. It's either megalomania or cunning calculation. What can I do to convince them? Find proof! Any proof, immediately! Whilst Ruben tampers with the body, and he'll be busy for a long time since he's not a professional, the initiative will be lost. Help me, Dankovsky. Find factual proof, show it to them, and they won't be able to deny the truth any longer. Sadly, this is now my direct duty. I received a letter from the powers that be testifying to that extent. What steps are you planning to take? I've asked several people I trust for help. Perhaps they will have already offered help to you too? Some of them have already sent word to me. Furthermore, Anna, the current owner of the Willows, is positive that she knows how to find irrefutable proof of the outbreak. She needs a competent person to assist her. Fine. I'll speak to her then. Back to Anna Angel we go. Another quest marker. Today's quest. The ruling family should stand together in the face of a common threat. Savarov should be granted the full extent of the governing authority, but the families are not yet convinced that the plague is spreading. This obstacle is not insurmountable, however. If only I knew what it was that scared Anna Angel so much. So, judging by this, it's probably an idea that we go speak to Anna Angel. Down south we go. Now, the plague is beginning to spread at this point. Don't know where it first is, I don't know where it first goes, but it's arrived, and it's about. And that worries me, I will admit. Because I don't remember where it's going to be, I might run into it without intending to. Let's perhaps go and see the shopkeepers today. As you may observe, prices have gone up tenfold. I don't have the ability to buy this much food, it's ridiculous. Prices are in the thousands for loaves of bread, because people are panic buying and taking up all the stock that we have left. Money is rapidly becoming worthless as food and medicine rapidly become valuable. This is a worrying turn of events. Once more we see this strange woman.
I have this flush. My cheeks are burning, aren't they?
So what do you think? Is it unstoppable? I've started saving up pills. Tell me which ones work better. I've come on Savarov's behalf. Real proof is required for the rulers to devolve their powers to him and begin cooperating. And you know where to find it, don't you? Incidentally, are you aware that no one believes you? Seems like Savarov the despot was the only significant person to have sided with you. He could have prevented the disaster, but it's too late now. And why in the hell doesn't anyone believe me, I wonder? Yesterday they were all very busy harping on about my educated opinion being the ultimate truth to them. Oh, it's all such a mess. We've been living a very quiet life for a while. We're not used to... A lot of people were killed yesterday, you know. I still can't believe it. It's like a pagan demon passed through the town, possessing the crowd, committing foul murder, and somehow remaining invisible. So what was it that you wanted to tell me? Disturbing rumours were heard from different districts all night, mostly inconsequential and mostly driven by everyone's fear from the man-eater and the mob's crazed vigilantism. It's all rubbish, but I found several reports disconcerting. Rubbish? Tell me more about it. God. Steppe legends that would probably seem primitive and barbaric to you. Legends of a dead crawler, of a Mara that is one of her heads eating what the others disgorged, of an oily Shabnak who has its bowels dissolved into the ground by grey-haired Agars. Need I continue? I spent a single day and a single night with you people, and I'm already doubting my own definition of barbarism. It all seems to certainly make sense. Which rumours did you find disconcerting? They were brought to me by second-hand dealers. I started saving up medicine, you know. Never mind. Anyway, everyone's noticed an unusual silence and occasional strange animal behaviour, especially that of dogs. And there are packs of rats too. The hunchback said that things are often left unnoticed in the general panic. Yes, it does resemble the first signs of an outbreak. But silence could have been caused by fear. Dogs always get anxious when people do. As for rats, well, there's a slaughterhouse nearby, isn't there? There were other signs too. Frightening scribblings and repulsive oily spots on walls here and there. Raspy breathing that could only belong to giant lungs can be heard behind the silent houses. They say the Shabnak, the embodiment of the disease, is breathing poisonous air, leaving her fat on the walls as she walks by. These descriptions tell me nothing. I won't be able to find a hotbed by then. Every hour counts now. The children know which houses are infected. There were 3 of them. 4 tops. You know what? Talk to Capella, the young Olgimskia. Children are drawn to her like moths to a flame. They tend to hang around everywhere and report everything to her. She's at the lump now. I'll tell her that I'll share my pills with the children. It's nice to have a little network of agents all over the place. Putting aside the fact that all of them are also little death-bringers now, of course. So, it's the Olgimski's mansion, the lump that I now head to. This is perhaps the main quest of today. In addition to tales of the man-eater, the streets are rife with rumours of strange places and suspicious houses. It occurs to me that the children, swarming in the gutters and listening from the shadows as they do, must learn of these places firsthand. Maybe worthwhile to speak with her confidant, Victoria Olgimskaya. I will continue to butcher the Russian pronunciations. I am eternally sorry for this. Nevertheless, there are perhaps some other things first. I'm still rather convinced that Lara Ravel definitely has something she wants to say to me today. So we'll head there first. So, nearly there. Do apologise for the brief radio silence. I was having to reply to a quick couple of messages that I've been given. Perhaps it is cheating of me to preempt the game's decisions, but
Who will take on the responsibility for us?
there's panic everywhere, right? Prices are rising by the hour, not to mention that we haven't received any provisions for several months. The shops are empty. The people are eager to buy anything at exorbitant prices. Everyone is trying to prepare themselves for the epidemic. Can't believe my ears. Someone has admitted that I am right. We need to buy emergency rations, a lot of them. It will be a challenge even today, but I fear that tomorrow it will simply become unfeasible. How much do you need? We need a lot. I want at least 12 people to be able to survive for a month in the house that will become a shelter, with minimal expenses, of course. My friends and those who helped me set the place up will be accepted in. And what did you do to make that happen? I've collected all the money that I could find. I've sent couriers on a shopping mission trying to find the best prices. Now, I need to collect the most important donations from the Kanes and the Olgimskis. Yulia agreed to make a donation too. I'm going to see them now, and then I'll join this crazy shop rush. No, you're not going anywhere. It's a general rule, Lara. Those who stay in survive. Those who go out shopping round, they all die. You got it? I do, but I'm used to doing everything myself, and I don't really have a choice right now. I will make the purchases. I have a lot of walking around to do today anyway. Just tell me what you need. I need to collect Vlad the Younger's, Yulia's, and Maria Kaina's donations. Tell them that you're acting on my behalf. Then you'll need to find the best prices and buy as much bread, smoked meat, and fish as possible. Only the products that don't go bad quickly. You'll need to get it to the House of the Living. I'll show you where it is. Is that what you're calling the future shelter? A lovely name. Thank you. Forgive me for burdening you with time-consuming and mundane errands. But one day a lot of people will be very thankful that we managed to take care of the vital issues beforehand. This work is neither very time-consuming nor mundane. It's definitely more than a mere errand. It's a very important mission. So, our first side quest of the day. House of the Living. I'll not read this one out, for the sake of time. However, the upshot is that I need 3 loaves of bread, 3 dried fish, and 3 smoked meats. So I have in my possession dried meat, dried fish, and bread. I will need to expend some of this, I fear. Given how expensive the prices are today, I know that that's not going to be an easy task. I have several places to visit already. So let's head northwards first. And go and visit Yulia. See what she has to say. town is oddly quiet this morning. The sky is darkening above me. The land remains in eternal autumn. Hello there, Julia.
As the mind endeavors to reach one goal, the heart insensibly drags us towards another.
What's going on in the town? I wish I could go out and see for myself. I've come on Lara Ravel's request. Oh, true, she did say that she needed to buy some provisions, stock up on drinking water and whatnot. Some couriers have offered their services to me already, and then there was this profiteering peddler who visited yesterday. Mind boggles. Just to think that all this hullabaloo is caused by the death of one single man. There is an epidemic hazard. The disease which we are about to face is likely to be more terrible than plague, Julia. One man's death has nothing to do with it. You amaze me, Bachelor. Did you not make fun of the Shabnak rumours yesterday? Mind you, there was some factual basis for all the hearsay. A lot of people don't have the faintest idea what kinds of life may be found deep in the steppe. They don't even know what kind of people live there, what kind of food they eat, what kind of effigies they make out of clay. Neither do you, to be fair. Still, you don't hesitate a moment to accept rumour of an epidemic as veritable truth. Is the concept of the disease that much more familiar to you than that of a man-eating abomination made of clay? Simply because my head is screwed on right, damn it. Do you trust Reuben's opinion? What exactly does Reuben say? Did he release the results of his research yet? No. That is most surprising. I haven't seen him since last we spoke, though he did say he would come. Why would he go into hiding? Where did he take the body that he was examining? After all, why would he be so intent on avoiding any contact with you? Now I'm confused. Let us get back to the pressing matters then. Here, take the money. I'm not so eager to give everything I have to alleviate the outbreak because I've yet to see any proof the outbreak is real. But I am well aware of the reality of Lara's drastic circumstances. I will embrace the opportunity, however slim. Hopefully, at least part of the money will be used for purposes other than this shelter she is conceived of. This is exactly the kind of blindness that kills people during emergencies. Thank you for the donation. 3,000 coins! Sounds like a lot, but the drastic rate of inflation, it might actually not be all that much. So, upon the town map, the slightly paler tan-coloured shops are... tan-coloured buildings are in fact shops. It can give me a rough idea of where the nearest places to buy supplies are. That is a tailor. Not what I need. I need a place I can buy some food. In total, I need 1 more loaf of bread, 1 more dried fish, and 3 smoked meats. These are all going to be at completely exorbitant prices. That's a medicine shop. Not useful to me currently. Maybe at some point, but not quite yet. Unfortunately, all of the children have also vanished off the streets as well. Might be that they just haven't gotten up yet. However, the problem with this is that it means I have no one to trade with. There's no one to give me extra bullets for when I've run out of ammunition. This is something I find slightly worrying. Still, at least there's always drunks. It's one thing that always remains. But unfortunately they don't have anything. So we go bin raking once more. And we find nothing. Into the shop we go. So, this gentleman has 1 loaf of bread, 1 fish. Fuck. That is exceptionally expensive. And 1 smoked meat. That is the entirety of my money. That's all of it. It's all of it gone. Except for 74 fairly measly coins. I don't really know what I'm going to do with that. Oh well. Shall we make our rounds due west, stop by the Canes, go and visit Eva, and then carry on to visit younger Vlad and his sister, Capella. I'm beginning to suspect that we might not actually have enough to ensure we get all the food that we need. This entire town is ever so slightly creepy. That is a tailor, unfortunately, not what we need. Let's see if Maria has anything useful to say to us. With her wonderful, wonderful dress.
No. No one can replace Simon.
The voice actors... Anyway. You're giving me a stony stare. Is something wrong? Are you disappointed? Lara wanted to meet with you to collect donations for the House of the Living. I prohibited her from going outside, and I strongly advise you against doing so too. Yes, I'm giving her my personal savings. I tried to persuade my father to spare some money from the family funds, but they still refuse to believe the outbreak. That is just the family line at the moment. And why do you believe me? Me? I'm not questioning anything. I'm not allowed to. If you want to know why I decided to give Lara my savings, I'll tell you this. It is because I am compelled to. By the way, have you found the proof of who you were looking for? Not yet. I'd rather advise you never did, and Daniel. Too good to come true. 2,000 gold! I will refer to it as gold because that is generic video game currency. I know that it is not gold at all. It is either rubles or kopecks or another form of currency that I am unfamiliar with. But gold is a familiar word to use. So that will probably be the one that I tend to default to. Shall we see what's left in the bins, if anything? Bottles of water. Shall we see what's left in these bins? Nothing, and a bottle of water. I mean, generally speaking, you'd have thought a esteemed doctor wouldn't need to go bin raking in his day-to-day life, but, then again, this isn't exactly a usual sort of town. I suppose also, having said that, one of my friends and colleagues as a student would often go bin raking. Not for, you know, anything obviously used or disgusting, but if there was anything whole, like unopened sandwiches, he would often just take them. He was a rather strange chap, but a fun one nonetheless. Hello, Eva.
I'm having chest pain.
Call 999. Is it true? The feeling you found out? You don't have to comfort me. Just tell me if it's true. Is there hope that you're wrong? I've learned a lot of things in the past couple of days that I would never have considered to be true before. The sand dirt. Is it true? Has Simon died of the sand pest? My colleague Ruben suspects as much. Then we need to run away from here, Daniel. Immediately. Even if we have to move exclusively by foot, we need to go now. We will die in the steppe, of course, but at least it won't be as excruciating. Fine, I'm sick of this place anyway. When is the train leaving? A freight full of meat, leather, and raw materials departs from the station every month. Women of the kin bid it farewell with sorrowful songs and mourning. That's the ritual. Curious. I'd like to have a look at it. Living people are forbidden to get on the train. The only person allowed to come aboard is the deaf and dumb Adong driver. Only he can guide the train through the steppe. I came here without any additional rituals, and I'm planning to leave the place in the same fashion. But you haven't touched the bull meat train. It's an entirely different thing. Can we bargain with the driver? No, he's deaf and dumb. Moreover, he's not quite a man. His position is sacred to him. There is a way out, though. I think I know of a man who could intimidate even a deaf and dumb Adong. Who is it? Andrei Stamatin, the architect. He's a very menacing and strong man. He treats me in a slightly condescending manner, but you can speak to him on my behalf, and he won't refuse. And I think even Andrei doesn't want the rot of the sand plague. Okay, I'll relay your request to him. Andrei Stamatin, the town's crazy architect, or at least one of them. We will meet him shortly. At this point, as the Bachelor, speaking relatively in character, I am unconvinced that there is anything I can really do I know that my lab might be shut down and that I might lose my life's work if I am not very careful, if I refuse to take on this task. However, my colleagues have told me that this task spells death. Everyone that I trust and care about in this town tells me that this task spells death. And everyone seems to be very much on edge and terrified. I would rather not engage in something that could obviously kill me. However, I will do what I must. Please tell me you have revolver ammunition. She doesn't, of course she doesn't. So, we're going to head eventually down to Young of Lads, but I want to just check first if there's any way of getting some food. I need to see what I can do about finding some of the stores. Perhaps this other small tribe will have something to trade with me. He's got buckshot. Unfortunately, I can't use buckshot in a pistol. He's also got buckshot. What? To use buckshot, I would need a rifle, and I don't have a rifle just yet. Let's go south to visit Vlad first. I've changed my mind. I often do that in this game. It, in the end, probably means that I'm slightly inefficient, but generally speaking, I try to do what I think will give me the quickest route around town. I don't like doubling back on myself if I can help it too much, especially when my time is limited. Vlad.
Haraspex did have the guts to accept his heritage in the end.
We'll have to figure out how to keep on living. I've come at Laura Ravel's request. Frick, I'm really screwing the dialogue today. I'm sorry, guys. Yes, I remember the arrangement. Here's what I can personally donate. It's a pity I can't extort a nicer sum from my father. Can he be convinced somehow? It's no use even trying. Really? Why? He has his own opinion on the matter. I think he accepts that you might be right. He accepts it, but he won't admit it. See the difference? Obviously, getting solid proofs is disadvantageous to him for some reason, not to mention that he would immediately cause him expenses. I can see the difference, but I don't understand the game he's playing. I'm not going to discuss that. I can only sympathize with you and advise you against disturbing my father with this question. I don't like this.
I am crushed by these walls.
Tell me, Master Vlad, do you believe that we're really facing a real epidemic hazard? I still don't understand how you came to the conclusion that the disease which killed Simon is contagious, even if we assume that the rumors of a death carry nothing but rumors, which I doubt. There's already been an outbreak of an unknown disease in your town. I used to occasionally communicate with Isidore Burach, the man who put an end to it. But I'm sure Isidore never told you about this. A brief encounter with the Sand Plague put him in a state of primal terror. Did you know that? His opinion of his role in stopping the outbreak was not very high, and he ascribed that victory solely to circumstance. It's strange you didn't suspect anything when examining Simon. If you are right, Bachelor, and there really is going to be a Sand Plague epidemic in this town, there will be no stopping it. You don't need to waste your life, and you cannot help us in any way. Your only goal is to survive until that station is reopened. Peculiar fatalism? You're saying that the services of an educated medic won't be of any help to you? Education is of no use here. Isidore may have had no medical education, but he managed to drive a demon back to hell. By the way, he mentioned that one can't beat the plague by traditional means. What means can it be beaten with, then? It cannot be beaten. Isidore was a wise man. He was born here and knew many things that no education could provide. Bachelor, your goal is to survive. Save your talent for the capital. Leave this place. My father will be happy to assist you. I'll speak to your father. 4,000 gold. And a warning to escape. Perhaps we should take up Anna for sure. Anna? Eva, even. After all, I think that she may have a point. There is no sense in wasting my own life in this place. And yet... here I am still trying. wonder if this girl has anything to trade. She has rifle ammunition. My god. No one has anything. Which makes this game a lot more tough, given that I have literally no ammunition now. So, what do we have here? We need smoked meat or dried meat? We need smoked meat, didn't we? Smoked meat it is then. I can't really afford to buy anything else. Not for the moment, at any rate. I wonder what Big Vlad will have to say about all this. He might have something useful. Or he might be able to even help me manage to escape. But, who are we kidding here? I think we all know how this play is going to continue.
Someone will have to be punished for this sin.
I'm listening. I've said all I wanted to say. Well, I apparently don't have anything to say to him. Well, perhaps his daughter might have a bit more useful things to say to me.
The children no longer remember me.
Look at this. If only my dear mother were alive, she'd take the reins of power in her hands. Even father would listen to her. But who is to take care of us now? Not Katerina, that's for sure. The mistress is too exhausted. Katerina is supposed to take care of you? Katerina is scared like a child herself. Also, I think she's being tricked. Yes, her prophecies come true just like it's always been, but they're becoming more and more noisy. Every word she utters comes across as a metaphor. Too bad I didn't know your mother. Yes, she had waves of warmth and power emanating from her. She held the whole town in her grasp like a giant bird protecting her fledglings. Not a single demon could invade our little community. I remember those happy times. People like her leave this world earlier than those who only live for themselves.
Yes?
Bachelor Dankovsky, the founder of Fanatica? An unexpected visit. Victoria, I need your help. Of course. How may I help you? Have you, by any chance, heard of anything unusual going on in the town? From the children, perhaps? You must be aware that I'm looking for Isidore's murderer. I was actually about to share this with you. Little kids come to me in flocks from throughout the town. They are all scared. The youngest are afraid of the Shabnak. The older ones tell me there is something wrong with certain houses. And who knows what's inside? I can see your intelligence is quite competent. Which houses are those? Children are lovely reporters. They remember all that's crucial to them in great detail and leave out everything else completely. As for the case, my friends have noticed a staggering amount of details, and yet they've forgotten to tell me the most important part, so I can only give you a rough direction to the area. Like it could ever be simple. What details have they noticed, then? The ones that you would expect the least? The silence, the moaning chorus from below the ground, lamentations from behind the windows, dogs banding together in packs and eating soil, an unusual smell in the air, as if a stinking cloth was burned. A friend of a friend's friend hasn't come to an appointment. I see. So what do I do? How am I supposed to look for all these silent houses? It's in Earth, the troubled part of the town. You could use a guide down there. Find a boy named Sticky. He'll show you the houses that have fallen silent. He'll also tell you what's where so you don't get confused. Well, thank you. One more thing. Lara was looking for you. She needs your help with something. Everyone does. Well, I've seen her already. So this is where a boy named Sticky lives. What an awful name for a boy. Together with some friends, he's found some foul place. I really hope it's not a house stuffed with dead bodies. But it probably is. So, the remaining things to do. Northwards we go. Perhaps we should go and see Andre. Yes, I think that's probably the most sensible option. See if we can buy any more food along the way. We need one more smoked meat. In true RPG style, it does differentiate between smoked meat and dried meat, and you can give her one but not the other, which is rather irritating in many ways. None of them have any bandages. Bandages are perhaps some of the most useful items to me at the moment, really. Just to have on hand as standby, just in case. Nothing. It was said in the review by Rock Paper Shotgun that Pathologic would have been one of the few, if not only, games in which your character may at some point be forced to sell their gun for a loaf of bread. There's something rather nice about that, I find, rather poetic in its bleakness. Truly, it's there's more of an understanding of what the survival part of survival horror is really about. Ah, thank God. Right. Needle, bullet, thank you. Done. Still only one bullet, but one is better than nothing, especially when your back's against the wall. So, let's now go and meet our friend Andre. Let's see what he has to say. So, this seedy little dive bar is the closest equivalent to a backwater pub that this game has. Let's see what the bartender has in stock. Oof, strange looking fellow. A gold ring, some coffee, some Twirine, and some morphine. Fucking hell, have you seen the prices on these? Might be useful to have some Twirine at some point, but the prices today are so unmanageable that I don't think it's really worth it. This here is one of the herb brides, dressed incredibly scantily, doing a little dance of sorts. And here is the pimp.
Seems like Haruspex is planning to distill Twirine. Fast learner.
I see the dust of my beloved capital on this man's feet. Ta-da! I bet you must have met me. Wait a second, the uni? Was it you juggling knives on the table? Ah, remember the time when we got the better of those bastards, eh? And you sat there all quiet, but when the tables went down, you grabbed the shooter. I remember. Very brave of you. Those were the days. And look at me now. Those were the days indeed. Dankovsky, in case you've forgotten. And you are? Andrei Stomatin, sentenced to death in 4 countries, at your service. Rejoice and sing, those of you who are not looking for me to die. I'd sing, but a single voice, even if it's singing, doesn't change much. I'm luckier than you. I have a beloved brother. You guys must be quite attached to one another. Twins are 2 sides of a single person. Each of them pulls in their own direction. Each sees their own side of things. I hope to see you 2 side by side one day.
There's nothing to talk about.
Sit. Take a load off your feet. Andre, tell me, how do I make the rules of the town do a reality check? Our damn rules will never come to an agreement, just like the corner of a triangle will never come together. It seems that now is the moment to let go of any feuds, but their actions are understandable. It's hard to bow down to Katerina. She can neither dream nor soothsay. Why is it the moment? We maintain our balance on our own. Nature has nothing to do with it. Our choices are what establishes harmony that is essential for survival. Now is the time for them to realize it. Now, when this balance has been disrupted by Simon's death, Katerina won't be able to rule like Nina or Victoria did. She has neither the power nor the talent. I don't understand a thing of what you're saying. As the mistresses were dying, Katerina was throwing herself hither and thither, unable to choose a role. She tried to be Nina and she tried to be Victoria, but neither light nor darkness worked out for her. She sucks at both. And you want us to listen to the Sabarovs after all that? Officially, they have the strongest claim to become the sole leaders. Katerina is the last mistress, after all. But her abilities are dubious. She told you she wouldn't die, didn't she? But unfortunately... Sorry, she told you that you would die, didn't she? But unfortunately, you're still alive. You can put 2 and 2 together on your own. As a side note, it's probably worth noting that, as we've seen in this playthrough, I in fact did die. I don't like people who speak in riddles.
Yes.
Any interesting news? People say all sorts of things over a bottle. They say no one's ever seen a Shabnak, but she's been heard. Heard by prophets, drunkards, housemates, and those who happened to walk past the crucible that night. I wonder what the bastards were doing there. They probably wanted to get another glimpse of lovely Maria in the window. Perhaps the bottle divers are an accessory to murder themselves. The disease is there, true, but... No, old boy, it's not their idiocy that makes them go looking for the Shabnak. No man can enter the focus. I'm telling you this is a professional and a legitimate architect. My dear, what is and is not possible is rather uncommon too, trust me. Still, no man could have gotten to Simon there. Alright, so what are your drinking buddies saying? They've heard a wheeze, heard sobbing and breathing, very heavy, as if it were a whale. Those are apparent signs of the hair-eater here and there, by the window, by the wall, in the corner. Scared shitless. People then come here to forget themselves and the nightmare. Breathing so heavy that it can be heard through walls. Well, the whale hasn't got much time left. I'm telling you, this is a doctor. It's possible. It's also possible the Twarian addiction goes hand in hand with poetry. Poetic minds tend to exaggerate things, but are they really so deprived of imagination that they have to tell the same tale over and over again? That's the concern gnawing at me. Curious.
Seems like Haruspex is planning to distill Twirin. Fast learner.
Eva wants to flee the town before it's too late. She said only you could make that happen. Flee? Why in the world? Have yesterday's murders scared her so much? No one will dare lay a finger on her. A killer more dangerous than a step spirit is at large. Oh, but an epidemic, Andre. Ruben told me it's the sand pest. Does that ring any bells? What? Is that what Ruben said? Bullshit. 5 years ago it spread like fire in a dry forest. Burak managed to grab it by the tail back then. If it were the sand plague again, drama queens would have spread it all over the place yesterday. The town would have been crammed full of dead men by today. Really? On the other hand, Eva is somewhat right. Yeah, it is time to leave the place. Yesterday's orgy was disgusting. The fight for the throne is about to begin, and I don't want to see its consequences. We can't stay here any longer. Are you with us? So, we're leaving? If my brother agrees, of course. I'm obviously not going anywhere without him. I'll speak to him. Shall we meet the brother, then? The Stammerton twins are an interesting pair. Evidently, I, in my time at university in the capital, bumped into them. Although the meeting may have been short, and we evidently didn't really keep that much in contact, I think that we all left a memorable image of one another. I think the quickest way around is probably just to skirt around the outside of the Savarelf residence. So, this interesting building with scaffolding just going into nowhere is the residence of the brother Peter Stammerton. Let's climb up the staircase, shall we? Huh. Very bizarre house, isn't it? Scrollings and etchings. Plans that don't necessarily make a lot of sense. 50 or so bottles of various things.
You're close. I know that.
And Peter himself. I see the reflection of my epiphanies in your eyes. Who are you, my long-awaited guest? What do you mean by that? This means that the man standing before me is able to see what others cannot. My name is Peter, and I have built quite a few things upon this stone already. Are you a geometrician? I'm a Bachelor of Medicine, but I love mechanics and I used to love math. So you are capable of love, too. That's truly beautiful. Many in this town are in love, but none of them are loving. I'm talking drivel. And who are you? Question time will be later. Let's drink some Twirine to our acquaintance. Don't you dare insult me by refusing. There's a retort in one of the cupboards, I think. I think I didn't smash it yesterday. I was so pissed. Thank you. I'll drink to your wit.
We fear everything, old boy, as mortals do, and desire everything as if we were immortal.
I can't shrug away the feeling that someone's scratching at the windowsill. Everyone is after a female figure. What is this? Vestiges of matriarchy? The snake mother? The abyss? Yada yada? Actually, an unusual girl's been walking around the town lately. Did you know? They say she can work miracles with her bare hands. If I happen to meet her, I'll test her miraculous capabilities. She can probably ease my headache, right? One more paranormalist. Concentration of anomalies in such a small piece of land is beyond my comprehension. She heals the sick and the incapacitated. Perhaps she's a healer, perhaps a saint, and perhaps she's just a fraud. I like to believe she's a saint. The world around us is rather low on miracles. She's a fraud for sure.
What if he can mix herbs? Fancy that. A new brew can come out of this. A new... eh?
Can't shrug away the feeling that someone's scratching at the windowsill. Your brother suggests that we escape this place. Escape? This place? Is he out of his mind? A plague is about to break out here. The local plague strain. The sand plague strain, to be more precise. There are no medical records of it. However, you seem to have the pleasure of witnessing it in action. I don't care. My body is so full of Twirine that no disease will ever be able to even approach, let alone touch me. Same with my brother Andre, unless he gets it from his wenches. Oh, I'm not leaving this place. Does Twirine protect from the disease? The right one, the so-called tear, does. Thick infusions and Twirine sap do not. It doesn't matter. I'm staying here all the same. Can't you get Twirine someplace else? Can't you see what I've managed to build here? Where else would I be allowed to do something like this? Everything that I have ever called my purpose has been brought to life in this town. For now, I have no reason to leave it. I haven't finished my observations yet. I'm this close to figuring it all out. What are you talking about? You wouldn't understand. You've never built anything. You're wrong. I built Thanatica and created the groundbreaking theory of human mortality. In that case, forgive me. But then it's puzzling you don't understand me. You're prepared to risk your life for your life work, aren't you? Yes, of course I am. That was a confusing end to the conversation. However, Peter is completely off his rocker. His mind is too clouded with Twirine for him to consider the consequences of his actions. Does he seek this self-bedazzlement on purpose? How can I possibly come to terms with such an obstinate man?
You're close. I know that.
Dream mistresses are silent. This is both sad and strange. Quite sad and strange. Even Lady Katerina won't bestow her poisonous psalms upon us. Tell me about the dream mistresses, Peter. Mistresses used to have some inexplicable magnetic motherly power over us. Katerina's problem is that she's a turncoat. You can't just stop in your tracks between the ridge and the abyss. You either have to climb or fall. Falling is easy. Climbing is commendable. What do you mean? Nothing, really. She's a false mistress. That's what bothers me. She doesn't have the right to see things. Seriously, my Twirine daydreams are better suited to change our life, because I am at least honest with myself and true to my conscience. I have never betrayed anyone. All my life I've only been doing the things that I believe to be true creative work. Change? I thought the clairvoyants see the inevitable. We don't have clairvoyance any longer. We are orphans, blind puppies in the darkness. Never mind. Have a drink. As you may work out by the evidence of the architectural notes around us, Peter Stamerton is the architect of the polyhedron. He's also quite mad. Or at least very, very high on Twirine, the local herb. Unlike most others, Twirine is a drug that doesn't really have a real-world equivalent whatsoever. It's in fact a lot more magic in its capacities. After all, it can prevent this disease rather completely, whilst also acting a little bit like, well, What is it acting a little bit like? Oh, does she have another one? Ah, darn. Oh well, I'll have to offer a needle for a bullet. Good. 2 more bullets. Oh, wrong house. So. Tririne is an interesting drug. It doesn't behave like any other drug, or any other plant at all. It's half mystical in its capacity. And that's one of the things I feel that makes it so interesting. So, this is Sticky Little Spitchka's house. His name in the previous version, I believe, was Spitchka. Let's see what he has to say. It's not really a house, is it? It's a bit barren. What a shitty place to live.
I can barely stand. My knee pits itch. Is that bad?
Want to see something fun? What's your name? Call me Sticky. Everyone does. Where are your parents? Do you live here on your own?
So, I've seen this Haruspix. Didn't look too happy.
Will you teach me to tell a person's expected lifespan by their pupils? No. No, I won't. They say you've seen a silent house. I've seen it alright. Shouldn't have done that. Hey, can you check me? You know, like you doctors do, just in case? Although, they say if you get sick, you can feel it straight away. As if someone was pouring boiling tar straight onto you. Yeah. No, Fever, you're fine. So you've sneaked into infected houses. Which ones? Or, I should beat the living daylights out of you for that. How many of you have been to silent houses? Show me where they are. Sabra will see them blocked off. Like that Sabra of yours can do a thing. Here on Earth, Olgimski's the man. He can make the workers walk on their heads and no one would say a word against him. Enough. I am the man how. Where are the silent houses? One's really close by, just across the yard. That one's freaky place, alright. All hot and smeared with bloody fat. Ugh. They say bloody mold was crawling up the walls during the first outbreak too, like a scab. That's rubbish. A scab on stone walls. I know what I'm talking about. The thing's carrying the disease, that's why it's so creepy. What if it crawls further, and no one cares? The guys tried to tell them. If you see blood leaking from under a door, that's where a shabnak, has had a feast. But no one believes them guys. It's better late than never or something. Or it's better never than late, or something. Alright. What makes you think these houses like these... Well, what makes you think houses like these are infected? Nothing. I'm not that sure, really. But you said yesterday that Simon died of a disease, so I put 2 and 2 together. I'm not a baby, I know how things work. I don't really believe in all that step stuff, even though I live next to the kin. My friend's father is a tanner. He says it's all hogwash too. You don't believe in step stuff? What do you mean? I mean what I'm saying. I respect old customs and all, but trains are more convincing than rites. A lot of folks here believe in step stuff. My mom also smeared our doorstep with horse milk and put bull bones into our pillows, and so what? Did it do any good? Alright, well, let's talk later. No time to lose. Come, I'll show you. No, I'll show you. You are not going anywhere. You are staying home and waiting for me to return. So... whilst it was not necessarily the most clear thing, the silent house in question is the house of Isidore Burdock. We'll go and visit that in a little bit of time. First off, we will just clear up a couple of these other side quests of the day. So, or perhaps... actually no. Given that the silent house is so nearby, I think we should probably go there first. However, I will perhaps leave that for another time. So, I'll pause for now, and bid thee all adieu, and see you next time.